Yes, ma'am.
You know, one thing I've learned to understand, people that don't have amputations don't seem to understand when we say we have phantom pain. And it is excruciating. Sometimes I feel like the pain I'm going through is worse than what I went through before I lost the leg. And nobody seems to have an answer for it, and nobody seems to have a medication to help it.
This is a big problem with a lot of patients, and I've had patients that have, come to me 20 years out, and that's what they come complaining about. And actually, I have a lot of success with Neurontin, but there's a whole sort of way of approaching phantom pain, and the way I do it is, basically, when a patient, as soon as they get their leg cut off, I make them do exercises with the phantom leg.
Okay.
Pushing, pulling, circles with the phantom leg.
Oh, I do that every day still.
Okay, from day one, okay? I make them touch the bottom of their phantom leg. Because a lot of people like to hide away and don't want to look at it. They're disgusted by it. Make them touch the bottom of the phantom leg, right? So those two things seem to help. Also, using mirrors, sometimes you can put a mirror along your residual leg and move your real leg, and you look through the mirror, and the brain looks at that and thinks that that's the right leg, and that also helps too. So you teach the leg where the new bottom is. You do these exercises. All this stuff seems to, because once the horse gets out the barn, it's hard to get it back.
In a restaurant, it starts to itch and you go down there.
Oh, the itch. No. You itch. You scratch the other leg.
You scratch this leg.
You scratch the other leg, and it will go away. Like there's these. Yes.
You ever heard that? Okay, tonight when I do it and it doesn't work, I'm calling you.
Okay.
I had a lot of phantom pain, laying in bed, usually at night, when I'm laying in bed, and it was pretty bad there at first. And then I kept thinking, what do I got to do about this? And basically, what I did, I just made myself believe the leg's not there, so it can't be in pain. You do get some pain because of you've still got the nerves in your leg. But if it feels like your foot's in pain, I just talked myself out of it, saying it can't be. It's nothing there. It can't be in pain. So it took a while. I mean, it wasn't like it happened like that. But finally, I convinced myself it's not there. There can't be pain there because there's nothing.
It's like when you skin your knee and mom rubs it or kisses it. That actually makes it feel better. Why? Because light touch will get there faster and diminish the pain.
I'll be done.
Now, I've never seen this in live action, but I've heard when I got into this business that doctors used to take a Coke bottle, when you used to have glass Coke bottles, wrap a towel around it, and they'd hit the residual limb within a couple days after surgery with it. Start hitting it. You're too young for that.
No.
They would do that. They would do that. I tell them, get in there with your hands.
It's kind of like what I'm saying. You have your hands on that residual limb, but also you have to work the ankle that's not there. Work the toes that's up. Both of those two together.
And same thing with hitting your thumb with the hammer. I tell you, if I get you early enough, get down there and start massaging that leg. Okay?
Desensitize it.
That's exactly what you're doing. You're desensitizing the nerve endings. When they cut through your leg, they do not go back in and seal up, or whatever you want to call it, each nerve ending. So each nerve ending is going to be raw. Okay? They can be sharp. So if you bump it or hit it, it's going to hurt. So you do the actual opposite of what you think. It hurts, so you make it hurt more by rubbing it. Because you're going to desensitize the nerves. Now, you're not going to get in there with your hand. Now, think of yourself when you first got amputated. You're not going to get in there like this because that hurts, right? If I do that, you're going to get in there like this. okay? And you can handle that.
Sure.
Okay? You don't grab your residual limb and squeeze it until you're crying. Okay? You get in there and squeeze it and rub it until it hurts, so back off just a little bit it's still going to be a little painful, but it's not going to drive you up the wall or through the roof, but you got to get in there.
You're saying is relearning where the end of the limb is. Most of us in here are old enough to remember when phones had wires, remember?
Oh, yeah.
And when you called grandma, it went all the way down to grandma's house. Well, if you think of grandma's house was the foot, and now she's moved in and it's around the knee, you're still calling the same wire, but the operator doesn't know it ends around the knee and not all the way at the foot. So you gotta remember and teach the operator up there, the brain, that this is the end of it, and the only way is to get in there and feel it. So folks who still remember the wiring, that's the way I explain it to them, because functionally it's the same way. You think of it, and the wiring is there for grandma's house, which is the foot, and it hurts. And it's telling the brain, my foot hurts, but you've got to retell it, grandma doesn't live there anymore, she's up here. And this is where it is, and eventually it'll stop. It sounds silly, but the mirror works, refeeling it works, and just acknowledging that this is the exercise.
You have two separate things. You've got phantom pain, that your foot hurts and it's no longer there, okay? But then you have phantom sensation, okay? You feel the foot, ankle, whatever, knee is still there, even though it's not there, but it's not painful. You want to keep the phantom sensation. It's not something that you can actually keep, okay? But you want it there for the rest of your life because it's going to help you walk better, okay? Brain still has the nerves coming down through the leg. The brain thinks that they still go to your toes where they don't. You've got to convince them, okay, those nerves a little bit, I guess, that there's still there enough that you can put the prosthesis on and feel the movement of that leg when you're walking. To get a natural feel when you're walking. So you take a shorter step, okay? And then you start to figure it out. Okay, this is the amputated side, where do I want it to go? If you have to visualize it, visualize it. I don't care, but I'd rather you don't, because I want your body to take over. I want you to feel where that leg is in space, okay? I'm looking at Larry right now. I'm looking at Joey, but I know there's a chair right here. So how am I gonna how could I kick that chair if I can't feel where my leg is? But I know where my leg is, so I can kick the chair. That's proprioception, knowing where your body is in space and relationship of objects around you, correct? Okay. So when you're walking, you're feeling that prosthesis. You're feeling the steps you take. So I've told a lot of you, there's a mirror right there. Look into a mirror when you're walking, okay? If I take a step towards Larry and I want to go straight on this green line, my first step shouldn't be over this way because I'm not going straight towards Larry. I want to look at him and let my body figure it out what I'm doing.
And as far as your therapy, yeah, the phantom therapy, I definitely do that. When you take off your limb at night and you're laying in bed and your foot itches or it's bothering you or the tingly sensation, I will tell patients, do some ankle pumps. If you've had the left leg amputated, do them with both. Go ahead and move it. Do the ankle pump with your right leg, visualize the left leg, and do that. You kind of got both recommendations here of you were able to change your mind, so to speak, and really accept the fact that it wasn't there. But that's not always easy at first. So sometimes going with it, moving the leg, scratching the opposite one, using the mirror can help you a lot with that residual pain or residual sensation and things like that to get it under control so it's not really just driving you nuts, because it is confusing. Mentally, you know it's not there, but physically, it sure feels like it. A lot of times at the beginning, I tell my patients, go with it. Do the heel slide in bed. Do this, I call them windshield wipers. Slide your leg out and in with both legs. bend your knee, and obviously, definitely hands-on with the residual limb. And that's something you should be doing every day, no matter how long ago your surgery was, because you need to look at your residual limb. You need to start off when it's really sensitive. I've had patients just very lightly touching their leg, whether they had gloves on, a cotton ball, just to have that sensation through there and start to get used to it. And then you can progress to more massage and therapy, and it helps with the healing. It helps with the shape of your residual limb so that everything can fit properly and you don't have some of those odd shapes that might be harder to fit or change where your weight bearing is through the leg. Talk to your therapist about that kind of thing, and you should be always have somebody to be in touch with. And obviously you guys are lucky in the way that the line's always open here at Western Reserve, that you can have that question and they have therapists available to you right away, and people that have been there, done that with Rick, that know, that can say, well, give this a shot, or yes, this is a problem, as long as you reach out. But as the therapy goes, yeah, work both legs, work both ankles, even if you don't have it anymore, if that's what you need to do to calm it down until your mind can accept that it's not there. That usually helps with the pain. And talk to your therapist, and always have you gotta have your hands on it. You have to have your hands on your residual limb, and to keep an eye on the health of it, the health of your body. I would hope your doctors and your therapist that you're working with are helping you with nutrition and how you're taking care of yourself, because that's a huge part of your healing. It's frustrating for me as a therapist when I've seen a patient that doesn't have their leg yet because they're not healed. And obviously there's vascular reasons for that and things like that, but do what you can to keep yourself healthy and put things into your body that are gonna help you heal so we can get you up and moving. This would be great, Rick. I'm disappointed I don't see that much. Yeah, and to get people standing and just to have that pressure, that would offer protection. I don't know what we can do about that moving forward.
I don't know. I think it's a mindset. I know when I first.
You know what I mean? So like once a week, when you put them in with the whites, you would wash them on a light wash in the washer. I wash them in the washer. And then when they come out of the washer, I'll hang them all to dry. And then the next morning, I turn them inside out, hang them up again for the end of that day, and then they dry naturally like that. I don't put them in the dryer because the gel, after a while, will wear down, and that will cause some breakdown as well. So if you just throw them in the wash with white soap and hang them to dry inside out, it takes about a day. So make sure when you're doing it, you have enough socks, you know, because he can go for a week. I do 7 at a time, you know, once a week. You know, so we have like 13 or 15 of these gel socks that you can wear throughout the week. But that keeps them clean and crisp, and they stay fresh and they stay new. You know, he doesn't go through them as often when we wash them and dry them like that. I used to be an Amway distributor, so I still have the SA8. I know some of you have heard of Amway, but I still buy the Amway, the SA8 soap, and that's a very clean, pure detergent. So I don't know what other soaps you guys would use out there. That's a pure Indian soap that doesn't have the fillers in it, but I use that just like a...
Suspension sleeves, whoever has those. Sean, you've got one. Okay. You just told me today you need a new one because they're ripped. Okay. When they rip or tear or stretch out, they're not going to do their job. Okay. So you have to get those replaced. On average, depending on the individual, they're going to last 3 to 6 months. Some will last longer because you might not be doing as much as somebody else, but still, if your leg starts to feel heavy, sloppy, your suspension sleeve is not doing its job. It can cause pistoning, okay, which is you going in and out of the socket, and even if you move now, when your doctor tells you something, okay, that you do not agree with, your therapist tells you something you do not agree with, it's not helping you, whatever. Your prosthetist, me, Joey, Jimmy DeCapita, whoever's out there in the world, we don't care who it is, it's somebody. We are not God. Jody's not God. We're not God. Your doctors are not God, okay? I've been looking, Jesus has not returned yet. Okay? So don't expect us to be the God that has all the answers. If you're not getting your answers, you go somewhere else. It's like buying a car. If you drive that car and you don't like it on your test drive, okay, you go somewhere else, don't you? Okay? How many times have I talked to you about the Ford, Chevy, Chrysler argument? Okay? The Toyota, the Honda, the Kia, all the other cars out there. You don't just say, I'm gonna go buy a Chevy and love it. You go out and check it out. I tell people, if you do not like what we are doing, Joey and I, or anybody else in this company, you're free to go wherever you want to make yourself happy. But I'll tell you what, Joey and I are gonna bust our tails to make you happy, to make you feel whole again, okay? That's our job.